Um, I've got another little exercise. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're very good at doing this naturally, but so asking better questions. So your brain, you're really good at this. You all always ask yourself the questions, but our brain loves questions. So what's one small thing I can shift today? Or what would I love to notice more of? Yeah, so meditation, definitely try binaural beats if you're not if you feel like meditation is difficult for you. It will make it really easy. um so reframing is a great tool. I've got another little exercise. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're very good at doing this naturally, but some people out there might not be. So if you close your eyes, if you're comfortable, or just soften your gaze, and now imagine you're sitting at the back of a cinema and your thoughts are playing on a big screen. Just watch them like clouds floating across the sky. You might hear, I'm tired. They don't appreciate me. I'll never get caught up. Now, instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, try this. I'm noticing a thought that says, I'm overwhelmed. Feel the space that it creates by changing how we talk about it. It's not, I am overwhelmed. It's, I'm noticing a thought that says I'm overwhelmed. You are the observer, not the emotion. And in that space, you can choose something new. Okay, if you open your eyes. And that's what, if you're writing some of these thoughts down, it's a good idea to create a little bit of imagery to help you separate yourself. Because if you spent, like me, I spent a lot of time really identifying with my thoughts, and you need to practice separating yourself. So imagining those thoughts on a screen or like clouds is a really great way to take them out of you so that you can look at them objectively and change them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you remind me. When I read The Secret, or read The Secret of Power, Rhonda Byrne speaks of what she used to say was that her thoughts were like a horse. So, like her angry thoughts were an angry horse, or her sad thoughts were a sad horse, and she's riding this horse if she was angry. And all she does is use the metaphor, get down off the horse. I'm no longer on that angry horse. And it's kind of a simple thing, but it's just like, yeah, that's a horse to ride. Bye, Mercy.
Yeah, I think we have the power is in with that we have choice. I think sometimes we just don't think we have choices, but we do. And we can choose which thoughts to pay attention to. We can debunk the ones that don't work for us, and we can choose a different pattern. We can implant a different pattern. We can rewire. So you probably heard a lot about neuroplasticity. There's lots of people talking about, they talk about it in education as well, that neurons that fire together, wire together. So we can rewire, we can make new patterns, we can make new positive patterns in our mind through different things. There's a few more tips that we can give. So other things that to break that. So it's catching it and reframing is one way. Making sure that you have awareness and separation between you and your thoughts. So using meditation is great for that. Journaling is great for that. Imagery, visualization of it on a screen is great for that. Breath work, going out in nature, all those things that we talk about. But also, tiny physical tweaks can also send a message to your brain that you're doing things differently. So instead of, if you feel like you're going through the same motions, then instead of walking the same way to work, go a different way round, because then your mind will go, oh, something's different, so it's things that break the chain. So change where you plan your, if you like, I sit down and it's always hard, I can never get started, take your laptop and work somewhere different to do it, because then it's like a fresh start. Your brain's not in that same pattern. It's like, oh, this is a different situation. And so then in that situation, you can say, I'm very productive. I can do this. It's very easy to slip into old patterns. I find that even sometimes when I go and meet old friends, that I'll just go back into the old moaning about the old days, you know, saying the same stuff, even though it's 30 years on, we still talk about the same stuff. So it's very easy when we are in situations to slip into the same routine, the same way of thinking, the same moans, the same, struggles. So physically changing how you're doing something can send a message that something different's happening, and then you can pay attention in a different way that you choose. So you might want to move the furniture around in your classroom. That would be one way. So if a child is we're often in classrooms play musical chairs with the kids. It's like, right, it's not working there, so we're going to move it over there. But changing your furniture around, switching the kids around can feel like a fresh start. Walking a different way to the staff room, breathing, taking some breathing to calm yourself before, deep breaths or some box breathing before going out and collecting the kids in the morning, so that you've already, because sometimes we get in and we're already on like this treadmill thing. We're like, right, I've got to get to the photocopy and I've got to cut it and I've got to get this ready. And then before you know it, it's time to go out for bringing the children in. But if you just go, you've got 2 minutes, 2 minutes of breathing to reset before going out and collecting the children, or in the morning, or at lunchtime, can make a big difference. Just because you're doing something different, you're not rushing from the photocopier to cut into going outside. That little pause sends a message to your brain that, oh, maybe something different's happening today. So
now that will reflect on the kids as well. Your demeanor, like if you're going, like we spoke about this already, like if you're going in highly stressed and you're afraid that everything's going to go wrong and the kids are going to be littering and all this kind of stuff, you're going to have it for some reason. That's exactly what's going to happen. Like the same in Ireland, if you expect to be behind a tractor because you're on an age, you're going to be behind a tractor. But like, you know, so like if you actually have that moment to breathe, center yourself and say, this is going to be a good day. The kids would come in and be like, they're actually doing a breathing technique as well. You know, they'll actually be calmer. For some reason, the energy just circulates, and you'll actually end up having a more peaceful day all around if you do something like that.
Yeah, and it's like taking that minute and reminding your filter what you want to look for, you know? So it's like, that's beautiful to say, I'm going to have a good day, you know? And that's not to say that some child might come in and be a bit of a pain, but it won't feel as bad, you know, because you will have spotted all the other great things that is going on around that. Yeah. So, I've got 5 takeaway tips. Tiny tweaks that change everything. So it's going back over, but summarizing with 5 things. So number 1 is to do with awareness. So it's noticing the loop. You've got to notice it before you can change it. So it's starting to observe common thoughts, journaling, and saying, instead of saying I am this, I am that, and identifying with the feeling or the thought, it's saying I notice I have a feeling, or I notice I have a thought.
Yeah, so that's very good. We identify with things. I am depressed. I am sad. But are you? No. You're aware that you're sad. You're aware that you're depressed. So say something like, there is depression in this moment, or there is a feeling of depression here. But saying you are the thing, you're like literally kind of embodying. The same as saying the weather's miserable and saying just it's miserable. You're effectively putting a broad thing on it. So saying I am depressed means that effectively your whole world is depressed. Like, but say there's just depression here, or there's a feeling of depression, but remove that I am, because that's an identity thing. So remove that thing, because you're not the thing, or the awareness of the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So noticing the loop and trying to change it. So using reframing to make it more progressive, or affirmations and things. They're really great for changing your filter really great at any time, but especially powerful in meditation or in the first 10 to 15 minutes when you wake up, because you're in the same brain state, if you don't look at your phone, as if you are meditating. So your subconscious is really impressionable at those times, so you can really get it on board with what you want it to start looking for. So asking better questions. So your brain, you're really good at this. You all always ask yourself the questions, but our brain loves questions. So what's one small thing I can shift today? Or what would I love to notice more of? And that's bringing awareness to it. So you don't even have to say, I'm going to have an amazing day. You could say, what would I love to notice more of today? And that will also make your filter look for those things, your brain look for those things. So asking better questions, noticing the loop, it was one. Use tiny physical interruptions, as I said before, moving, standing, changing the way you go to work, changing where you plan, just stopping and having a little breathe. Number 4. It's number 4 today. What's number 4?
Meditation.
Yay! Meditation is really great for it's because you said, can it always be number 1? So no, it's number 4 today. Meditation, particularly using binaural beats, using affirmations. But even if you're not doing affirmations, actually, I found I wasn't at the beginning, I wasn't particularly doing affirmations, but it just gave me such clarity. I think that's what it made me aware that I wasn't my thoughts, I think.
That's a great, meditation is a great way to train yourself. We keep saying, oh, I can't do meditation. This is your false belief system. I can't do meditation. I can't quieten your mind. But the way to quieten your mind is to train your mind through meditation. This is a great way to become self-aware and to become aware that you're not your thoughts. So meditation is actually a training practice until it becomes a part of you, really.
Yeah. And I didn't think that I could do meditation. I had quite a busy brain. And it's not about not thinking either. I think that's it. I think sometimes we think, oh, meditation. And there are moments. I have moments where I was just being. It doesn't happen very often. And it's a very hard thing to explain what it is when you're just there, but you're not thinking. It's very peaceful. But most of the time, meditation, that's not what it's like. It is, your thoughts may calm down, but you're noticing them, and you can sort through them, and you might get new thoughts from your subconscious or new ideas that you would never have thought of in your conscious mind. It leaks in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great way to find answers. So if you want to find answers for a project you want to do or a certain thing you want to do, literally ask it before you go into meditation. Write in your mind, and the answer will come, the download will come. It's actually really good to have a notebook beside you when you're meditating. Because there's times I've been in meditation and I'm like, oh, I have to write that down, I have to write it down. It's like, wait for the meditation to be over, and then you run for your book to get it written down. So it is a great way to find, ideas, answers,
inspiration.
creations.
Yeah. And I like saying this, I think it's very true that meditation gives you answers to the questions you hadn't even thought of asking. It's great. Yeah. So I can't recommend meditation enough. But some people might find it difficult. So that's why binaural beats are amazing, because, at one time before we had binaural beats so available to us, you probably have had to train for a very long time to get into such deep meditative states. I can't say that word, meditative states. But binaural beats does all the hard work for you. It just helps you sync naturally. So and also those was the reprogramming ones, didn't you say?
Yeah, reprogramming the subconscious mind. So you can play them while you sleep, and it actually does the work for you in your sleep. So they're a great way to get to a stage where you can do the inner healing consciously. So just do it unconsciously first. It's effortless. Just press play and go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. So meditation, definitely try binaural beats if you're not if you feel like meditation is difficult for you. It will make it really easy. And number 5 is speak your brain's language. So every thought is training your reticular activating system. And so say things that will lead you forward, Be aware that the words that are coming out of your mouth is training your brain to look for things. And if you want good things, then you need to speak good things. Yeah. So I'm learning blah, blah, blah. This is challenging, but I'm showing up. So that's like the reframe there. Things are shifting, even though they're subtle. So it's encouraging your brain to go, actually, no, I'm not on this treadmill. I'm noticing differences. I'm noticing a bit of a change. So it's talking to yourself, to your brain, and training it to see what it is that you want to bring into your life, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, this one's a short one today. I've got to the end. Oh, here's a little thing. You don't need to change everything. Just one thought, one habit, or one focus. Small tweaks change what your brain sees and what your life becomes. Oh, and actually, I was going to mention the lovely, beautiful soul that was Jen Jackson, because I said at the beginning that it's kind of a little bit relevant to this one. So Jen was a colleague. She was in my school. She'd been in my school long before I started working there, and I've been there maybe 18 or 19 years now. But when I first started teaching there, and I often got put with the special educational needs children, and at the time I didn't particularly, that wasn't my passion. I didn't see myself as a special educational needs teacher. That's not what I wanted to do. And I saw it as that, you know, they didn't think I was good enough to teach the main class. They didn't, you know, they didn't trust me. And she spoke to, I remember her speaking to me and saying, have you never thought that maybe they put you with those children because you're good at it? And I was like, no, I hadn't thought that. And I think she was right, you know. But it's funny how actually you know, your gift can feel like a burden, you know, can't it?
Yeah.
You know, because
it doesn't take a special kind of person to be able to teach children, you know, special needs. So to me, that makes you superhuman. You know what I mean? I think teachers anyway, or people who work with children or crashes or anything like that, you're all superhuman. But like, you know, working with somebody with special needs, that's more difficult. That takes more patience and kindness and empathy and compassion, and you know, so you know, you have extra skills, I suppose, to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, but I didn't see it that way. And that's exactly, it's the same thing, you know. I was doing that job feeling awful about doing it, and now I do that job loving doing it, you know. And actually that changed. I think having my own children with special educational needs, and then it felt like I was being trained. I was being trained to be their mum. It all happened for a reason. I absolutely love those kids. They're so grateful for the little steps that they make and such personalities that I wouldn't, you know, I just love working with them now.
But that's it. They're lucky to have you as well. They're really lucky to have you because, you know,
thanks. Yeah, we're a little team.
Yeah, but like, you know, imagine if it was anyone else. I'm not saying anyone else would be as good, but I'm just saying there's something special about how you work with those kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, it was a godsend for you to be working with them, and it was a godsend for them to be brought to you as well.
It's funny how the path, because actually to teach children like that, you have to coach them. So then, you know, now I'm trained to be a coach, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what I was doing all along. But I didn't know that's what it was. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's funny how the path unfolds. Yeah, but Jen was she was a big personality, but she was very, very compassionate with it. You know, she was straight talking but compassionate with it. And yeah, I remember very clearly her a moment when I was probably having a bit of a moan. And she was like, it's not that they think you're a bad teacher, it's that they think you're good with those kids. And I was like, oh, I'd never thought of it that way. And just, you know, there's probably lots of things that people out there are thinking that thinking wrongly about, that other people view it differently to them, that they think you're amazing. And you're just choosing not to recognize that. Yeah, so We can be intentional. We should make sure that our thoughts are serving us, and we always have the opportunity to choose, you know, how to view something. Yeah. And to finish, join Teacher Mindset Matters. It's our free Facebook group for teachers and school support staff who want to get on a growth journey. We have lots of coaches from different areas of self-development and mindset coaching. So whether you've got stress, you're a parent who's juggling the role of being a parent and trying to care for themselves, or a professional role, whether you are wanting to get on a spiritual journey, then we're there to help you. So you can join Teacher Mindset Matters. Search for us on Facebook. We are the only one. And I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.